Hi, I'm Alan Green, a professor here in the Rossier School of Education. Over the past 8 years, I have had the pleasure of teaching one version of this course or another in the EDL program, while also fulfilling my role as a practitioner faculty member here at USC. Not only do I teach about power, diversity, and equity, I embrace the challenges and opportunities I encounter working with others as we try to enact our university's commitment to equity and inclusion. In addition to being a faculty member in Rossier, I am a faculty in residence living on campus with my family in one of our residential colleges, embracing DEI among our awesome first year undergraduate students. I am also an advisor to USC President Carol Folt as the university's faculty athletic representative, helping to ensure well-being for our 600 USC Trojan student athletes. So in addition to teaching one of the sections of EDUE 700 and 703, I get to practice what I teach. Based on more than 20 years of teaching and practice in a variety of organizational settings, I would like to introduce a systems thinking model that I have found enhances the way we think about the pursuits of educational justice and equity. The model is known as CHAT, or Cultural Historical Activity Theory. In this video, I will begin to explain what CHAT is, why it is important to include with your other materials you have gained being in this program and this course, as well as how you can apply it to your own practice as educational leaders dedicated to creating more equity and justice through education. Cultural Historical Activity Theory, known as CHAT, is a lens designed to help us dig deeper into our everyday interactions. It is a way to analyze the historical background and unseen cultural dynamics among groups of people as they work together. CHAT can be used by anyone, such as a neighborhood organization that is trying to improve recreational opportunities within a community, or amongst educational leaders that are managing a series of complex DEI-related activities. There are very formal, theoretical ways to use CHAT involving years of study and research, and there are more straightforward, practical ways that can be used for analysis. We will take a straightforward approach simply by labeling each of the essential components of our activities and questioning them as far as their intent versus the reality of the interactions with each other. This is done in order to flush out the hidden contradictions of our work and attempt to resolve the challenges that come to surface. CHAT is a different way of looking at our work that allows us to overcome the typical barriers to achieving change, such as conflicts of interest, power struggles, and even sabotage. It allows us to expose the hidden ways in which our best intentions for achieving change lead to frustration and blame rather than progress and success. Now, let's take a look at a simple application of the model for your use. I understand that answering big picture questions may feel both empowering and overwhelming at the same time. However, I have found that by using CHAT as a heuristic tool to ask big picture questions as we plan the intermediate steps, we can achieve those outcomes we all desire. To aid our reflection, we will be guided by the application of a model developed by Clay Spinuzzi that focuses on the key elements that are generated within an activity in the process of asking and answering specific questions designed to transform our practice. For our example, let's look to the state of Hawaii education equity leaders who are committed to improving learning outcomes in a public school system serving majority minoritized students. They were faced with the ongoing challenge of improving equity for nearly 26% of students across the state who had never been successful in meeting grades 3 through 8 level expectations in math and or reading prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Most of these students come from low-income Native Hawaiian or Micronesian homes. In the beginning of 2020, as local school districts were planning to build on recent improvements in third grade reading scores, their future work was threatened by funding cuts and priorities being shifted to the global pandemic. Just as plans to expand the activities proven to be successful were being launched, school leaders and staff were told to abandon those efforts and focus on developing protocols and procedures to address the pandemic. In addition, student and family needs among the same marginalized communities accelerated during the pandemic. For example, learning loss, limited home-based connectivity rates, and limited food distribution disproportionately impacted these students who were facing insurmountable barriers well before COVID-19. While addressing the demands of the pandemic are important, halting equity work completely would produce a significant setback to the success already achieved. Digging deeper into the issue, it was revealed that conflicts of interest between the state superintendent and her board on the one hand, and the State Education Legislative Committee on the other, that threatened the funding and policies put in place to achieve equity. While the superintendent and her board were demonstrating the positive results they had achieved, they were being questioned about the use of their time and resources during the pandemic. The Education Legislative Committee demanded that all efforts shift towards the working conditions of employees, thereby moving away from prioritizing student well-being and outcomes of equity, particularly those most in need. As we apply the chat model to the example, we must first look at the 7 essential components of the activity model. We have the subject, tools, object, outcome, rules, community, and divisions of labor. Chat will develop a landscape that will inform many possible ways to respond to the following key questions. What do you perceive should be the top priority for the superintendent? What should the superintendent do about the equity policy work she was proposing based on student outcome data? To summarize, chat provides an excellent framework for practitioners to engage in inquiry about their organizational context. By paying particular attention to the ways that people engage collectively towards particular objectives, we can better understand our current landscape to imagine equity-minded futures. In the next video, we will turn to discuss how to make sense of what is revealed about your organizational context as you put chat to practice. We'll talk about contradictions, how and why they arise, and how to redesign your practice to maximize equity. Over the next several weeks, you will receive feedback on your problem statements, then submit your lit review outlines. As you begin thinking about the counter-narratives of your problems of practice, I encourage you to consider how the implementation of solutions to your problems can easily go astray and how the systems thinking model of chat, if applied, can make the hypothetical impact of your final paper even stronger.